Well, we lost the first segment. It was a very good segment.
Oh, you
Maybe,
sound like me every game night.
but maybe it's like for the best that we got real catty in that first segment, and then I forgot to record it. Whoops! Because you see, listen. When I invent new things that I do, like I've stopped recording the intro just to save myself the difficulty of editing it out later. But I haven't gotten into the habit of hitting start recording. But whatever. I'm sure Cash will be back in the group segment, and we can run through all of our main talking points once again. But this is intended to be a live show. If you don't show up live, what are you doing? Get here live. It's where it's fun. It's where you get to see and hear the music that I pick out every week.
It's where the party's at.
Exactly. Next week I'm gonna start getting into ska. You know. I want to
Here's
start
what you
getting.
do.
I
Best entry to ska is the Digimon movie.
yeah. It's got bare naked ladies one week.
hmm It has Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Yep. Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
It has Agumon.
Yeah, Agumon loves a skank.
He does. That's the whole first chunk of the movie.
He's just like Agumon.
Ty comes out and he's like, "Oh my god, my sister Kari!" And then she's like going to chase Agumon on the street because he went to go skank with this giant bird.
And he's
she
like,
brought
pork my breath.
She's like, toot 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 toot. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, are there any Digimon skanking online? Digimon skanking. 1 second. Very important internet research. Digimon skanking. I typed that. Ooh, okay. No. Wait, did it also had the Rockefeller? It also had Fatboy Slim? Right, I forgot that. I forgot it had Fatboy Slim in that movie.
It also had Lennon Stereo and a dope Angela Anaconda opening bit.
Look, listen, okay. There's no Digimon skanking online. There's a void.
Impossible.
There's a void. Somebody needs to get out there, give Agumon some checkers, and get him skanking.
Dude, you got to go to the deep web. That's it. Just cover up your webcam. Go to the deep web. Agumon skank.
Do I have to? Is an NFT?
Arguably the most expensive one. Yes.
Skanking Agumon. Okay, but yeah,
It's grinding down the most forest per minute.
it's skanking him down to the ground.
Hitting him with that pepper.
Oh no, Agumon! No, we're talking about too much. We're talking about too much anime on this thing. What am I?
Bitcoin is the greatest they use to make Digimon real into the real world, Andrew. So they can destroy the rainforest and make it a digital world.
Oh shit, dude! Are NFTs like a Digimon plot? When you think, oh fuck, it's all digital, man. It's all digital.
Dude, how do you think they mega up?
We're living in the worst season of Digimon right now. But
I don't know. There was one where these children were like fused Jeff Goldblum the Fly style with their Digimon and then killed in a war.
nice, dude. I wish I was a Brundlefly every now and then. I wish I could fuse with Jeff Goldblum.
Andrew Brundlemon.
You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah, you could do all those crazy flips from the pipes and shit.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum's in a lot of weird stuff that you don't expect him to be. Young Jeff Goldblum. He's been around for a while, and he always acted like that. He always had that acting style. He was weird, mumbly, rambly, kind of like I'm Jeff Goldblum. I'm gonna I'm kind of seem like I'm confused all the time, or like exasperated, or kind of. Anyway,
He was the Jurassic Park cool guy.
yeah. He saw those dinosaurs, and he's like, "Life starts somewhere."
He was supposed to be sexy in The Fly too.
Dude, don't say supposed to, please. That's disrespecting Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, he was, yeah, but like obviously he was. But they always have him be like, if we need a sexy character, we need to go to Jeff Goldblum, and then we just throw him on there, and we do whatever with him. We make him a big sexy monster fly. Yeah.
Yeah. What if he's a weird, sexy monster fly nerd? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Listen. This is about video games. This isn't about the Jeff Goldblum fan cast.
Well, there are video games of The Fly and Jurassic Park.
I think Jeff Goldblum was like in one of those FMV Sega CD Jurassic Park games, but I don't know if he's otherwise been in any video games. Like I think there was like some bad Jeff Goldblum lookalikes, but then there was also like actual Jeff Goldblum, you know,
Yeah.
like recorded video being like, "Oh, you died! I can't believe you died. Get back in there, kid, and make life happen."
Oh, hey, speaking of games, you know how we play a lot of games like the way we do, you know? I mean, you know,
Yeah,
you're familiar.
I know
Um,
all about. Yeah, listen, I know all about video games. Tell me about them. Yeah, we
uh,
play.
do you talk about like role-playing games too, like the D&D style shit?
I've talked about role playing games when other people have talked about how they play Dungeons and or Dragons with their friends, and I asked them about how they play them. And like, do you play them like normal people? Do you min max them? Do you? I wish I remember that tweet because I've been saying like I feel like the person who made that joke about minimum Maxwell has like forever burned that into my lexicon because I enjoy it so much.
I love to min-max.
I love calling people a minimum Maxwell. It's such a anyway. So what about role playing games? Yeah, you're talking about role playing games.
Um, so I have some friends that are like, oh, they're always trying to get into D&D, but
Yeah.
then you know the common problem you have where you want to get in D&D group together, but then you get a session together and you play like twice with people and then like never again, so you never get your monk to level up one time, and
I
they
hate
like,
I play games where you don't level up. That's the secret.
yeah, that's the thing. So what do you think are some like dope games where it's like you can have a couple of sessions of it and then it's like done, or something like good short games where you don't even need like more than like three people or some shit?
Like I don't know, a lot of them. any of them really? I mean, I'm a weird guy because I can play D&D like that, but there's a lot of like one-shot systems. I'm sure there's lasers and feelings. Just roll up Shadowrun. Just roll up like Shadowrun characters.
Like, is that the one with like 13 die or something?
Yeah, it's like a million dice, and everyone's like orcs that like make magic and use computer magic.
Everyone is John is good.
Yeah, that's those ones are weird though because like those are as someone who's making a bunch of tabletop games, I am like thinking about like are those technically like parlor games? Like it's like if you put charades on one end and Dungeons and Dragons on the other end, like where does everyone as John fit in? You know, is it closer to charades? Is it closer to Are You There, Moriarty?
Well, where would you put werewolf?
Werewolf is the perfect. Werewolf is right there in the center. The beautiful combination of the two. No, werewolf
Yeah.
I think is more of a parlor game, honestly, because you don't really need cards or anything for that.
So I feel like if there's a line directly in the middle, I feel like werewolf is on the side,
Oh,
like directly next to
Among Us is in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, werewolf is on one side, and then the first everyone is John would be like right on the other side of that middle line,
Yeah.
and then Among Us can be in the middle. I don't know. I don't dislike Among Us. I'm just like I feel like I'm kind of shit at it, and it's like I don't know, probably because I haven't like played a lot of it.
Yeah, you haven't
okay
gotten to
amount of
the
it.
you haven't gotten to the meta game yet. You haven't like
Yeah, but I feel like at the time I got into it, everybody else was already way too deep into the meta.
yeah.
I was like puttering around with both thumbs up my butt.
As long as you don't like talk
Video
about
game.
how people play Among Us wrong and how they're bad people for playing Among Us wrong online and post cringe as they say, you'll be fine.
I play Among Us so wrong. I feel like I always die like right away. I don't know how to do any of the what are they, puzzle traps or a cube?
Isn't it
frames?
like
I'm the same.
isn't like Space Team kind of, but werewolf also? I've never played Among Us.
Yeah, I love Space Team. I forgot about Space Team.
Yeah, you forget about when you don't see anyone in physical person, and also you need to delete stuff off your phone. You're like, who's gonna play this? I never play this.
Yeah.
I never play these things, but that's enough about Among Us. Among Us. I should change this tag to Among Us to get 1 million viewers, and then they'll be like, Where are the funny people? Sus though.
um, we're people who aren't funny disguised as funny people.
Oh
Among us
shit.
to bring them in.
That's. I feel like that. I'm not funny people. How dare you?
I'm not funny. Do you think there's? Is this? I'm not watching the live feed or whatever right
Yeah.
now.
I don't really watch it
like-
either. I keep an eye on the chat in case there's going to be people who are posting sex links, and I ban them.
Well, no, redirect them to me, dude. What do you mean?
Listen, there's sex links. Listen, here's the secret of the internet. There's sex links everywhere. There's more sex links than you could possibly want, but you need to find the safe ones. These are not safe ones. These are fake sex links.
I mean, yeah, I like to live life on the edge.
Okay, those are. There's a very specific subset of sex links for that.
Yeah, I just want to like go to sex websites that are specifically a coin flip whether or not they're gonna break your computer. Like that's a game I want to play.
That's.
Virus question mark? Make that game.
That sounds like work. I don't have
No, you don't make that game. Somebody in
Oh.
Hollywood made that game.
Oh, Hollywood, get on it. This is important
Yeah.
business, Hollywood. No, I don't. I don't
Hey,
know how to-
Nintendo, get off your ass in Hollywood and make
Yeah.
this video.
No more. Get out of these. We don't need more Zeldas. We already know what he does. He climbs up on things and he swings his sword around and he kills the pig guy. We get it, Nintendo. You don't like pigs. Get over yourself.
And what's the deal with Yoshi?
What is the deal with Yoshi?
Well, no, what's fucked up I was thinking about the other day when I was just like thinking about fucked up shit?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was Yoshi's story. He raises he doesn't raise Mario from a baby, but he cares for that baby Mario.
Yeah.
And the whole time he's like just putting his whole long ass neck on the line for this friggin' baby that came out of the sky one day and hit him on the head first thing. Later on, Mario, he rides around on Yoshi, and first chance he get, he'll throw Yoshi into a pit just to get an extra jump.
Gino, I don't want to break this to you, but Yoshis are like dogs. Those Yoshis that raised him are long dead.
Yeah, but imagine if
But also every new Yoshi comes out of an egg.
imagine if you had a bunch of dogs all over. You see dogs all the fucking time. I see dogs every day of my life. What the hell? And then I see too many dogs. Not a possible thing, by the way. But you know, just for the sake of the bit.
Yeah.
And then, like, one dog saves my life since I was a child, and it stays by my side forever. And then I see, like, I'm walking across the street. It's been raining out. I see a big fucking puddle on the ground. I'm like, oh shit! I snap my dog's neck, throw him in the water, and walk over it. And I catch the bus and go to work.
Well, that's fine because in this scenario, all dogs, besides going to heaven, they also are like reincarnated to be every other dog. You know. Because that's how Yoshi. I mean, listen. Listen, the big Yoshi question of which Yoshi is an unanswerable question, and I don't really care enough about Nintendo lore to get into which Yoshi is capital Y Yoshi, which Yoshi is the rest of the lowercase Yoshis. You know, listen, Mario's a plumber. He runs around. He beats up on Bowser, and they're like actors, you know? Mario isn't real. You know, with a Tezuka star system...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mario. I think I said it kind of like jokingly, but I think Mario Miyamoto might have literally been like Mario Universe is like the Tezuka star system, which is like one of the few things I like about that guy. I wish those star systems were in things by people who knew how to write comics good, but. Osamu Tezuka's long dead. I don't need to disrespect him like this, even though the guy couldn't write his way out of a fucking bag. I tried.
I don't mean to disrespect him as you're pissing all over his grave, by the way.
Listen, I tried so many times with that guy, and I just like could not do it. And this was like we talked about earlier. It's not like a
Tezuka?
Yeah.
Watch Dororo, man.
He most certainly did not write that new anime Dororo.
What do you mean they found his dead manuscript and they were like, "Oh my fucking god, dude!"
It's so big. You got that Dororo do that? I have Dororo. I own it. It's very big and it's like fine. It's fine. Read Shigeru Mizuki. He's like way better if you want like kidder stuff, or if you want more mature stuff. Tatsumi is like super, or like the Suges, or listen. There's a lot of old manga guys that are way better than him. He's like the fucking Walt Disney of manga, you know, real cliche and uninteresting.
Yo, speaking of better remakes, that Nier thing. Ugh, but I don't want to spoil anything. But the Nier Replicant remake is kind of the shit, dude.
Nah, I already played Nier. I'm good.
Well, yeah, I don't want you to get a new one, but I want like I've recently been talking a lot about Drakengard with somebody, and it's
Listen,
always a fun story.
I'm going to play Drakengard. I own a copy of Drakengard, and I am one of these days gonna crack that copy and be like, "Hey, let's play Drakengard." And I'm
Did you
gonna.
start it before?
I may have started at one point even.
I feel like I remember one time I was at the house and you might have said it might have been Chris though.
Hey, let's dial back that inside baseball, my friend.
Oh, sorry.
This person I just met in the crowd. I know you as a commissioned artist. Please don't act like you know me, buddy.
But we were at the coffee shop just the other day.
Yeah, at the coffee shop where I brought over my computer, or brought out my TV, brought my PlayStation 2, and I was playing Drakengard in the coffee shop. And I was like, you guys, it's like a bad Dynasty Warriors, but...
And I happened to be walking by and I said, "Hey, aren't you that guy from?" Like, shush, no.
Never met me before. Look at this game. It's like a bad Dynasty Warriors. But there's something in there probably. I want to see what that something is. Uncover this history, the secret mysteries of Drakengard.
I like the one where you play as the girl who steals all her sister's boyfriends and then kills her sisters.
Yeah, I have that one as well, I believe. Listen, there's a lot of video games, and I'm very busy. I don't have time to play them all. There's too many.
Who does, really?
People buy Indiepocalypse so I can have more time to play video games.
Oh, hey, everybody out there, buy more Indiepocalypse.
Yeah, I gotta buy a lot of it, dude. Just give me all the money.
Here's what you gotta do: go door to door.
Yeah.
Right in this economy.
In this economy, there are no doors in this economy.
And you say, "Hey, everybody, buy my Indiepocalypse."
I mean, I actually think it might sell very well when I can go to conventions. I think there's a distinct possibility that all those fancy covers and like just the general pitch that I can deliver to people, and people at conventions are already looking to spend money. I think I could actually sell it fairly well at conventions. TBH. So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. But who knows when that'll happen? Late 2021, 2022 even?
Probably 20 never again. We're all going to be dead in like 30 minutes, dude.
What? We still have another guest. We still have another guest in the group segment.
Oh, well, you better hurry up, man.
Oh man! Speaking of, well, I guess this is a time to cut our talk to an end, because it also is actually like been an hour and a half. So that means that we have actually been burned through our half-hour segment here on Indiepocalypse Radio at this period present in time. Don't mute your goddamn microphone yet. You're still talking. You a little sneak over there.
I give you the San Diego slip.
Yeah, nice try. I know where you're at, Carmen. Whatever. Great to have you, Gino. Great to be on the show.
Good to be here.
You've also did comics I forgot to mention you did comics also within some of these issues that I didn't bother to look up all the numbers for.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I did.
If you're watching live and you see the one with the dice robots, that's the cover you did. For all those live folks out there, but for the people who aren't live, I'm gonna say we're going on a break, and then you'll be like, oh, and then you'll hear me say we're back like 2 seconds later. I want a break now. Goodbye, everyone. We're gonna take our trip. We're gonna take our bus, and next stop is Lincoln Park. Hello and welcome back to Indiepocalypse Radio. That was the well overdue Shonen Linkin Park mashup. Um, we are.
I need to turn off Twitch.
What
Oh,
about Twitch now?
oh no, I just had it on in the back. I was hearing
Oh,
two of you.
oh yes, that's a bad way to hear two of you. But we're only hearing one of you, who Elliot, who you may know from the previous issue of Indiepocalypse number 15 with Winter, part of the exclusive game. Well,
Yeah,
not
that was kind of interesting. I wasn't at all expecting. I mean, Freya just kind of hit me up one day, being like, "Hey, you've made electronic work before," and I technically had.
yeah.
Um, and she just kind of roped me into building this thing, and I went and wrote a whole engine for it, which was interesting and kind of a great time. Um, yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was
and I like to think it had helped contribute to Indiepocalypse 15, the first issue to ever hit the break-even point.
wow,
Yeah,
that's interesting. That's
yeah.
not a bad
Which
record actually.
it
I mean, I
sounds
think.
it's only $400, which sounds a lot more impressive than it is.
Oh no 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 no. I mean like I don't know. I feel like actually reaching that point, especially at like a $15 price point, is kind of pretty impressive. Like
Okay, I
I
had
don't know.
no.
I mean I don't think a lot of without 20,000 Twitter followers behind you, which is what we had for 10-minute games actually.
Yeah,
The last big project I was on. That
yeah.
was
You guys all had like everyone had your own little. I still see people honestly still have a little pill in their name. I was like, why don't?
um at the time I counted, and between all of us we had about 50,000 Twitter followers.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm sure there was a huge overlap there, and I'm sure most of them didn't interact with it. But I came into that with 73, I think. Just kind of casually looking up over the people with 20,000, just
right.
entirely carrying the marketing campaign. Um, no, I don't know. Like I think a lot of the people in that project, and sorry to catch you all up, it was kind of like a game jam almost. It was 10 developers or small teams who came and made 10-minute long games, and then we
Yeah.
had 10 of those, and then we put them in a bundle and sold it for $10. And it actually did pretty okay.
Yes.
Yeah, like it didn't. Steam's a different story. I know at
Well, right.
least some people didn't quite even break even on Steam after
Oh,
they
like
went to
with
full rate.
Steam fees and everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've got the $100 submission fee, like straight off the bat, and then Steam withholds 30%, and then they withhold extra money depending on whether or not you've registered with the right forms. And yeah, I
Yeah.
think at the end of the day, what seems like $600 ends up being $50 each,
Right.
which isn't nothing, but it you know covers the submission fee. Um, I found the Edge actually was a lot better for
Yeah.
that. Um, I
It did.
think there might have been. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was gonna say it did much better on itch. I remember because remember you had a goal and then it like went well past that goal.
Kind of crushed it. Yeah. The initial goal was just like covering all of the submission fees. Honestly, it was just like, can we even break even at this point?
Yeah.
But I know for a lot of people, the hope was to prove that small games can sell on Steam.
Right.
And like there's no way we can avoid putting them on Itch because that is still probably the biggest platform um, for indie games, and absolutely, definitely, it made probably. Oh, I don't know. Actually, I mean, I can just quote you the numbers right now.
Well,
Lifetime Steam revenue is 541 USD on Steam, and on Itch, I've got no idea. I think it was probably closer to 700 or 800.
yeah.
Um,
The bundle is at 46.28.
that seems right. Um, I also, for a little while, had my one free just because I feel a little weird about um, having like a permanent financial barrier on my work, and that ended up doubling like the individual sales of my game by quite a bit. I think I ended up making like $150 just by making my game free, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And kind of maybe quite telling about the crowd that itch caters to. I don't know. I think it was I think it was cool. I think like in future I probably wouldn't skip Steam, but
Right.
I
Yeah.
think maybe twice about it. Just like
Like what?
I don't know.
Like
When
why spend the time and the money that you're gonna lose anyway when itch is also free and most of the people are gonna buy it there, and then you also don't have to deal with Steam culture.
yeah, it was both time and money because wrangling the Steam backend was just incredibly difficult. I would imagine that not everyone in the audience has had the pleasure of dealing with Steam's backend, but what seems like a slick and occasionally laggy experience in the storefront is just like tenfold back behind the curtain.
Right. Well,
Everything is just hidden. Uh,
well, usually
there
you
are
have someone who does that work for you because you're a company.
You would hope so, yeah. I had a friend who they were trying to release their game for the recent festival, and Steam just for whatever reason didn't let them launch the game.
Right.
Like the button was just grayed out, and there was no explanation. There was no, and they had to contact support, and eventually it all went through. But a lot of people don't, you don't end up getting replies. Oh, and I forgot, but yeah, the bundle on Steam had to launch with 7 out of 10 games. Like three of them, I think, was still missing when it launched.
Oh,
Um,
like they weren't
it's
certified,
crazy.
or they just got caught up in the pipeline.
Yeah, yeah. So what it was is Steam's process is you have to clear a bunch of checks before they let you release the game. Um, and one of those checks is spending money to release the game. So you have to send them 100 USD, and
Yeah.
that has to happen exactly 31 calendar days before you first release your game. Um, I was I think I sent mine on in like a week before that deadline. And Freya and Dana, who did Slasher Interrupted, they did it on the exact day, like the very last day, because someone dropped out.
Yeah.
No, we miscounted how many games we had actually. We realized at the very last second that we had 9 games instead of 10. So we dragged Freya and Dana in, and they bought the Steam credit. And because of time zones or for whatever reason, uh, they thought the button would be ready to go, but it wasn't for another few hours. Um, and between that and the fact that Steam will just arbitrarily knock back your game from review and then tell you, you need to fix this incredibly specific, non-important bug that affects. One of them was the game will crash the first time you try to open it if you have a Steam controller connected, and every other time it will be fine. Uh, and
Wow.
that got one of the games that got one of the games rejected. Even though they weren't selling Steam controllers anymore, or even
Yeah.
manufacturing.
But somebody could
Um,
still own one. Someone could have bought one with their $5 fire sale and have it lying
I
around their house still.
I got a second actually. I'm quite fond of mine.
I I,
Still, yeah.
I only bought a
Um,
Steam Link. I never like. I think I thought about a controller. I was like, I'm really never going to use this.
I actually have a Steam Link too. I had to send it to my girlfriend in New York, who's now thankfully living here and asleep in the other room as she should be. It is ungodfully early.
Yeah, that's I guess your perspective of ungodly early. I woke up
I
today.
mean, look, it's not so bad. It's nice being up
Yeah,
while the sun is
also
it's
up.
morning. Just yes. No, I mean I'm past my college years of being completely nocturnal. Now I'm kind of just both. I'm awake during the day, but also awake during the night. It's fine. I'm sleeping sometimes.
I mean, I would recommend sleep every now and then.
Every now and then, yeah, I
Yeah,
try. I
it's
try. I have people tell me this every night, and
I I've been thinking. I thought I was talking to a friend about it, and I mentioned him in the last segment briefly. Shigeru Mizuki, the old, died at 93, and there's like a I don't remember the exact quote, but there's a very good quote from him of talking about like because he was like a contemporary of like Tezuka and all those old manga guys, and he was like, they all worked themselves to death, 16 hours, got all those things done. I slept 8 hours a night, and they're all dead now, and I'm still alive.
yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna actually. I usually hit. It's just sometimes I don't
Yes,
get
yeah.
into bed until yeah.
It's yes. It turns out it's a weird thing. Turns out going to sleep is not as easy as it seems sometimes.
It's kind of not.
Which should be a very simple thing is
You really
infinitely
think so?
complicated.
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of the wonderful thing about all of the friends I've made since 10-minute games. I mean, like I said, like I was at 73 Twitter followers at the time, which is a very specific number, and I don't actually know if it's accurate. But
I
I
think
knew maybe like oh yeah.
no, I was gonna say I think someone who's been in Indiepocalypse was at one.
Oh nice.
I don't know if they've gone above one since then. No, they went to at least
Since you.
two because of me.
um yeah. Um yeah, like I knew a few people in game development, but instead I've just met so many cool, incredible people, and one of them is in my time zone. Everyone else is kind of just spread out across the globe, which is kind of wonderful when you can't sleep at 3 a.m. because everyone else is just, completely wide awake. It's slightly less good for collaboration because it means you have to wake up, a little bit, uh, unfortunately, early sometimes. But
Right.
that's how it goes.
Yeah, no, I had someone, Maria of a previous episode, she was like, "Yeah, I'm used to getting up because I'm used to the world working around United States Eastern Standard Time."
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. No. Me and my girlfriend, she lives in New York, and I went back and forth when I could around university. So she's an animator, and all of her connections are in New York, and she does just like basically just freelances with New York on a mostly permanent basis,
Yeah.
which is kind of pretty convenient with a 12-hour time difference, and they can go to sleep, and then she'll do all the work that they had left over, and when they wake up, it's all done. But if they ever expect her to actually show up to meetings, it means 6 a.m. wake ups and
Yeah.
11 p.m. Sign offs, which is not the best thing for a healthy work life balance.
No, no, yeah, right. Yes, it's very strange to be like, yeah, no, it technically is during my wake hours, but they're not during the wake hours you think they are.
I
It's
mean,
the
the only healthy thing to do there is just have a nap during the day, which feels so unprofessional. But
yeah,
I mean, it's quarantine. You're freelancing. It's fine. This is just how you survive
right.
it.
Everyone's perspective has changed.
Yeah. I mean, like hopefully permanently. I'm hoping. Like
Yeah,
I think I guess we'll see in the next few years because I mean I don't know. It feels like America's starting to go back, and Australia's been safe, and then the state governments have done a wonderful job at keeping things controlled for the most part, and it's kind of obscured the fact that the federal government has done absolutely nothing but harm uh, the cause. So now that they're actually finally responsible for something like obtaining vaccines, um, everyone's starting to see that maybe hang on, something's a little bit off here.
yeah,
Um, we were originally all scheduled to get everyone was scheduled to have the first vaccination by October, and I think a few weeks ago they admitted that wasn't going to happen, but they also declined to set new targets.
yeah,
So my
yeah.
first vaccination is going to happen? Question mark. Which is, I mean, it's probably pretty much fine. We've had a recent outbreak here, but like for the most part, it's kind of safe.
Right.
But also, yeah, it's a little bit interesting to be outside the US and UK right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, the U.S. is loud and wants everyone to pay attention to it all the time,
Mm,
and
I've heard that.
is very good at spending its way out of and into every problem. Just
That's probably pretty apt, actually. Yeah. I do honestly miss being in the States. Like I probably couldn't have spent more than 9 months here total. Uh, Here, there. But I honestly really liked it, just going between New York and Chicago. If I talk about America for too long, I will slip into a bad American accent, so please call me out if that happens.
oh, I don't know what an American accent sounds like.
That's really interesting. Like for the longest time, I've been convinced that I don't have an accent,
Yeah.
but I definitely do. It's
Yes.
just not an Australian one, and no one's
Right.
ever been able to place it. Um,
It's not like
I've been told.
the broad
Mhm.
stereotype of Australian.
Do I? Do I?
No, no, I'm saying it's not. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You don't have like that broad like what like an Australian on TV sounds like.
I was um I was on a podcast with a couple of Australians back in February, and they one of them I remember told me afterwards that he thought I'd adjusted to Australia really well, that I'd picked up the accent kind of faster than anyone would have been expected to, which is quite fascinating because I've
Yeah,
absolutely lived here my whole life. Um,
but
I
you're speaking
when I
quite
was
well for someone
living
who's lived there your whole life.
well, it's Australia. It's hit or
Yeah.
miss. In New York, I would often get pulled aside by people. Sorry, I've been to places that are New York, but it's fresh on the mind.
Well, so
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I've
It's a
had people
it's
pull
it's a
me
big
aside. Just
it's,
it's a big city, yeah.
it's a big city. It's a big city. It's a big country with a couple important places.
Yeah, like one or two.
Yeah.
But no, I was pulled aside by strangers just to be like, English, or French. I think I got twice. Um, English was 3 times, and I got Ed Sheeran twice too. I genuinely had people come up to me thinking I was Ed Sheeran, which is fucking fascinating because I don't look close. I've got the round glasses, but
Maybe that's all it takes. Round glasses, and you don't speak American. You must be. You must be that Ed Sheeran.
I must be.
Must be that
He seems like
guy.
an alright type. I mean, he's
Very
I
fit,
don't
rich.
I
I
don't love
guess.
his music. I don't hate it either.
I don't really know any of his music. I could not tell you what an Ed Sheeran song is.
Yeah, I don't think I could either. Like I know there's a few of them. I
But
feel like he's gonna be in those like pop artists that I don't go out of my way to listen to, but I also don't hate. Like I'm not gonna complain
right,
if he comes on the radio. It's just like I've got no
he's
reason to seek it out.
he's like a future CVS banger, if you ask me. You know,
I don't really know
that's
that future. I've been into a
yeah.
few CVSs, and that's pretty unturned.
that's that's. I think that I last time I went looking for CVS bangers, it was offline. SoundCloud took it down.
Wait, hang on. Sorry. Do you mean the? See, when you said CVS banger, I just assumed you meant like a song that would play on the radio
I
when you
mean,
were
yes,
inside a CVS. Is that what you're saying?
yes, yes, and also somebody made like a mix called CVS bangers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm
That's
in the
like
loop on that.
yeah, yeah. That's like I've. I feel like I'm probably gonna start playing a lot more. I've gave myself very rigid music rules on this show, but as I increasingly, someone on the show was like, I like your show, but I feel like I like your frame of reference on all the things you're talking about. I'm like, well, people just seem to agree, and they assume I know that they're agreeing with what I'm talking about. And then I feel like it's like what I was talking to Cassie about bad games. Your frame of reference goes so wildly askew, you don't understand anymore, and you assume everybody must know who everything is.
Yeah. It's I mean, I suppose it depends on the audience, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's enough of that. Wait, I was gonna ask a question, but we didn't have any. I gotta do my final
I think that-
check-in of the night. To be fair though, we usually don't get any.
That's okay.
Usually, yes. Okay. Final check of the night is a big zero. So
Nice.
speaking of big zeros, Elliot.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry about that transition there. Uh, you're not one of those zeros. You're a number one.
Some sort of float between the two. I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a line between zero and one, and you're somewhere in that middle of it.
Yeah, I'll learn that. I'm happy there.
Um, but I couldn't ask anyone this week. My go-to questions of how did you hear about Indiepocalypse, because I emailed everybody about it. Um, so
No, I am.
what's it like to be the first game to so Winter is freed from the shackles of Indiepocalypse. How's that feel?
Really interesting, actually. Winter's Winter was written with a language called Ink, which is it's kind of just the used to write like story files, and then you
Yeah.
can import that anywhere to like Unity or a JavaScript thing. And I across all my games, I've been using Ink, and I've used like this. I've used the vanilla stock JavaScript engine, and I have sort of made a lot of tweaks to that over time. And when Winter came out, I realized how messy the code was, and I quickly cleaned it all up because I didn't want anyone seeing how bad it had all gotten.
Yeah.
And in the months since, I've been kind of a little sick, so I've spent the whole time developing that into like a full engine. Like I've completely rewritten it, and
Oh,
yeah, like it's been a huge project, but I don't know if you're familiar with Ink. I don't know if many people are, but it's quite
I'm
similar.
not.
Um, it's kind of similar to Twine in that it's used to write interactive fiction, but the studio that makes it is more kind of targeted towards the Unity and Unreal crowd
Yeah.
because it's quite good for those two. This is a very long-winded answer. Sorry. So I really love Twine likes. I really love those sort of hypertext interactive fictions, and it was kind of
Right.
incredible getting to work with Freya on that because Freya is just very prolific in that field.
Yes.
I don't love writing games in Twine. I find it really frustrating to work with, and I know it's quite hard to pick up if you you don't need programming familiarity, but it's still not a very friendly environment to jump into.
Right. You
And I
need to
feel like
still know the language of Twine.
yeah. Ink's got its own language, but it's much easier to read and write and pick up. But taking that and putting it in an HTML file and making tweaks to like the animations, the backgrounds, making it do custom things, that's always been harder than it would be with Twine because you need to know JavaScript because no one's built this stuff before.
Right.
So I kind of went and I looked at what the Bitsy crowd had done with Bitsy. There's a huge uh, GitHub full of weird little hats for Bitsy, which is
Yeah.
a tiny little. I don't know how many bits. I think it's 2-bit actually. But it's a tiny little fake retro engine that's kind of wonderful.
Yeah.
Um,
Listen, when the Bitsy vibes just hit just right, Bitsy is like the the best stuff that's being made right
It,
now.
it really is. And that's JavaScript too, and the crowds sort of sprung up creating hacking frameworks and tools and reusable code chunks in the same way that Twine has. So I went and looked at that, and I rewrote this little JavaScript engine from the ground up, and it started at 300 lines of code. This isn't a great metric, but it started at 300, and I think it's approaching 4,500 now.
Okay, that
Um,
sounds as someone who uses programming as a blunt instrument to get his ideas across. That
yeah,
sounds like a lot
yeah.
more code, which sounds like a bigger, fancier program.
Um, it's actually kind of incredible. I'm really proud of what it made. So the answer is, I'm hoping to drop that alongside Winter when it comes out. I'm hoping to just throw it out to the world and be like, hey, we've made this game and
Yeah.
it's currently using this little thing. Please come check it out because I've made something pretty cool here.
Yeah. Perfect.
I guess we'll see if it takes off. But
I hope that's. I hope like
I don't
because
know.
I started the commissions is like I got gamers love exclusives, so
Yeah, they do.
what better
I
exclusives
mean,
than personal heartfelt stories? That's the true
I think
things. That's truly what the gamers crave.
yeah, I mean, you've had I feel like Freya is just like a great person to drag into Indiepocalypse. You've had some really cool people. I know you had uh oh God, I forget all these usernames, but you had some really cool people on.
Yeah. Yes.
And I was kind of I definitely heard about Indiepocalypse before.
Uh,
I think just looking at profiles of cool people I know on itch and being like,
yeah.
oh, they've participated in this. I would love to do that someday. Um, but yeah, no, I think dragging people like Farron is just always because it's been submission so far, right? Like a
Right.
submission led sort
Yeah.
of situation.
It's,
Yeah.
it's submission, but like I did have been like hand picking a couple here and there just to like
Oh, gotcha.
because not everyone can,
That's
obviously not everyone's going to see it. I mean, some months
yeah.
I had to handpick like all of them because people just weren't submitting.
Oh, that's really interesting. Is that I mean, a submission's picking up. I feel like that's a good metric of how
Yeah, submissions have
like
been
how
like kind of everything is like it's all up and right.
that's really cool. I feel
Yeah.
like that's I mean, like it's dope to be like making money off indie games. It's dope to be selling things that would otherwise just be going
Oh,
on itch.
let me tell you something, Elliot. I'm not making money on indie games. The
Right,
contributors are. I am well in the hole, as
yeah,
they
yeah. I'm familiar with that. That's
the hole that is. Yeah, yeah. It's a deep one, but I like
mm,
it. Better than
yeah.
giving it
I
to
mean,
student
it's
loans.
oh yeah. But no, I get you. Like game development's kind of just fun. Like I realized the
Yeah,
other day I have definitely spent more time like developing games for fun over the last year than I have actually playing video games. Like I've just kind of it's just become like a entertainment hobby for me now.
yeah.
Which is really cool. Like I've got a huge backlog of half finished or unreleased things and I've just kind of been chipping away at more. It's been really fun. Yeah.
I opened my first project, my first game major project in a long time, in
Mm-hmm.
like 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Oh, like
gonna get
you
back into
haven't
it.
honestly it's good. Yeah, no, that's a really God, I remember I don't know if I want to look at my early stuff because I was like 12. But
Yeah,
going back to something I made like 3 years ago, I was playing around with like platformer mechanics coming off the back of my first playthrough of Celeste. So you know it was a certain kind of platformer.
right.
And I spent so many hours just tweaking the little values to make sure everything felt good and right. And by the end of it, I was like, man, this is fantastic. I love how this feels. And then I got distracted, as you do. But coming back, it just felt so stiff. It just felt awful to play.
Right. Well,
Which
that's what
is,
happens when you get trapped by it. You,
I mean, it's maybe a good sign that if I can, trick the player into sticking around for 20 hours, then I'll
yeah,
start enjoying it. But,
trick them into
um,
playing it. Well, what you need to do is the tutorial level. They have to spend 10 hours building
yeah,
levels and play testing
yeah.
them.
Oh God, yeah. You know what? I mean, Nintendo managed that with Mario Maker, right? No reason I
Yeah,
couldn't do.
I had a dream once that I was gonna load up Lunar EPS or whatever whatever it's called. I think it's EPS. The thing that you use to edit Mario World, and I was going to
I
remake all of
I'm not
the.
familiar with that, but that's cool.
Yeah, I was gonna remake all of Mario World, but like thematically or something. But I don't know if I had a theme, but I just wanted to do like level by level, just a complete ROM hack of Mario World. But
Honestly, that's kind of dirt. I
oh,
mean,
like
speaking. Oh yeah.
I bet you know what?
Mm.
Okay, sorry, I had like a like my brain
Oh yeah. No,
exploded.
lay it on us. Come on.
So
Let's hear it.
I've been trying to get an exquisite corpse going using the PlayStation 2 version of RPG Maker 2,
Mm.
where like each person would spend a month on a game, then mail the game and the memory card to the next player, and they would just keep like
Oh, nice. That's
passing
cool. I
around.
dig that. Yeah, 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 yeah.
But that's tricky to get started because it requires people to own a PlayStation 2
Right. Yes.
that has
Not
like
everyone is as nostalgic as I am. Yeah.
right, and they have to have like it has to be like US NTSC capable
Oh,
or
fuck! I forgot that. Yeah.
yeah, or I mean, if you have the Slim, they're super. I mean, I don't know if the kits are still widely available, but they're extremely easy to mod. If, say, for instance, you want to
Interesting.
play pirated
Good
games
to know.
or Japanese
Good
games.
to know. Actually, no. I have a huge collection of PS2 games I picked up when my local DVD rental store went
Yeah.
under. Just like a shocking number of rare, incredibly. Uh,
What's what's
well,
your
they.
what's your
I
crown
mean, yeah.
jewel?
Um.
Okay, it's two questions. If they're different answers, what is like the most expensive one, and what is like the one you happiest you got?
I don't remember off the top of my head all of them. I think probably Eco would be or Echo, however it's pronounced, would be the
Yeah.
most expensive. I don't know what that retails for. Probably not a lot. Um, but it was a little hard to track
Yeah.
down in.
So you don't have like a rule of rose or anything.
Oh no, nothing. Nothing that deep a cut. I I had this one PS2 game. It's called Kaya Dark Lineage, and I was pressured by my mom to pick it up at like a God, what do they call them? In America, it's like at a pawn shop. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I got my PS2. I got Ratchet and Clank and this game, and it has affected every single one of my design sensibilities since. It's this weird, obscure little like 3D adventure
This is a
platformer with
this is a
kung
PS2.
fu
I'm
and
looking at screen caps. This is a real
yeah,
PS2 game.
yeah, it really is, but it holds up. It's a good game. It genuinely ended up being like my favorite of the era. I think I've played through it 4 or 5 times. It's a good game. Um, it's got like the collectathon sort of thing, but with genuinely good like adventure platforming, and the fighting is this weird like it's almost like a fighting game in how it approaches it, but I don't know. It's weird. Check it out if you ever come across a copy, because I will stand
Uh,
by it. It's a good fucking game.
uh,
Um,
I'm looking at the back of this cover. It says a whole lot of hurt in a belly shirt.
yeah, it's not a well-written game, to be clear. It has affected absolutely none of my writing sensibilities. It is quite shockingly poorly written and acted.
Perfect.
Um,
Perfect.
but it's part of the charm. It's
Yeah, yeah. No, listen. Yeah, I kind of like bad writing sometimes, but no,
yeah,
my
it's
my
mm,
my.
yeah.
my my moment of clarity was like, what if we did that an easier, much easier version of that weird RPG Maker idea? Which, if you want to make it, let me know. Indiepocalypse.com/RPG Maker or pizzapranks.com/RPG Maker. Sign up.
Oh, interesting.
I want to
Mhm.
make it. Um, I'll even pay for people shipping. I think I want to be made that bad. I like it. I think it's cool. But I think the easier way, the more practical way to do it is just to do that with like a zip file of Mario World and Lunar
Yeah, 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 yeah,
IPS, and
yeah.
just everybody takes. Don't look at anyone else's levels. Just like you make a level, then you pass it on.
That's really cool. I know with Nintendo they're a little bit litigious with mods and such, so I'm very careful talking about anything I might have done in that sphere. But
Right. No, listen. I don't think. I think Lunar's still online. And it's like I'm talking about. I'm not talking about modding. I'm talking about modding your cart of your ROM that you
mhm,
uploaded for 24 hours,
mhm, mhm,
and then loading the Lunar files into that, which are Lunar files separate from Nintendo,
mhm, mhm, mhm.
and then making sure you delete your copy after 24 hours.
Of course, because
That's all. That's all
legally.
I'm talking about here, Elliot. No piracy. And make everyone has to have a copy of Super Mario World. No,
Honestly, no, I'll come out and say it. I right before 10-minute games, I picked up a Switch,
yeah.
and I kind of fell into Breath of the Wild, and it was fun and also just full of a few little pesky design problems that I wasn't a fan of. So I threw myself into modding it, and I made a bunch of mods that I was just like, you know what, this weapon durability sucks, but I don't want to just cheat it out.
Yeah.
So I made a whole like lore-friendly mod to explain why Link might have a like an indestructible weapon. I don't know, it was a whole thing. I spent like 2 weeks on this and
All right.
threw out a bunch of mods into the world, and
Yeah,
I don't know,
it's
I feel weird talking about it publicly because I don't wanna ever like mess up my chances of getting a job because I might have,
right.
you know,
Yeah, who knows how that works? Like, I, I weirdly, I know the person who made everyone into a Chuckster in Super Mario Sunshine, but, and I don't think Nintendo's too mad about it. I don't know
no,
though.
I mean, I'm sure it's probably fine.
But that said, we are past the end of our time, Elliot.
Oh, please, yes, please, let's bring everyone else in. I'm just checking
Yeah,
here.
we're gonna go away for one last session, one last break. That is rather, and then we'll be back with everybody. And I need to hear more about this Jeff Goldblum, and Cassie and I need to recap our unrecorded session very quickly. Elliot, thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Goodbye for
Everything is
about 2 minutes. Welcome back to Indiepocalypse Radio. We're here with everyone. Cassidy, we had to talk about earlier that we're going to recap. I'm going to try and recap very quickly. Basically, we talked some shit about Tales of Tales. Said they're really not that bad. We're just like,
this is for banter, as they
right?
say.
Just banter. We're just saying like they're pretentious art people, but like we could have real art people. Or I hear you're getting into digital crypto.
Oh yes, I know we mentioned some NFTs earlier
Yeah.
and how all these artists, these folks, the gorillas are getting into NFT, and it's exhausting. So that's why I'm here to announce the Bad Game Hall of Fame NFT.
Perfect.
And for just 5 easy payments up front, you will be able to put down a preemptive offer on the NFT. It will be a fav icon. It's 48 pixels by 48 pixels
Okay.
of the Big Rigs trophy.
Okay.
And,
Can I kind of make it? I can kind of make out what the text says because I already know what it says.
yeah, and that's the beauty of it, because it's
Yeah.
art self-interpretation, and you can interpret it as your winner. You can interpret it as anything you want it to be. It can say anything you want it to say.
That's what I say whenever I buy a new NFT. I go, "Your winner," into a mirror, just like Christian Bale in American Psycho.
And that's how I want to be when I grow up.
That dude would buy NFTs.
So yeah, that's
Oh, 99
sorry.
99 Drakes is good.
Yes, very good indeed. Drake and 99 Dragons, unsung hero over times.
Yeah, true. Hey, there's a lot of weird multiplayer. Play Pac-Man: The New Adventure, and I think we covered everything.
Yeah, there we go.
I like
More
the
or less.
I like the part where you shoot him and goes, whoa, whoa.
So we're gathered here today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dearly beloved, we are gathered here today.
Is it really pronounced Fabicon? I've never said that word out loud before. I've never heard anyone else say it out loud before because I don't talk to computer science teachers.
I said
Fabicon?
I think
Yeah, I still say GIF, so I don't go to me for pronunciation. I can
Oh.
barely pronounce my own name. So
I always thought it was Favicon because it's like when you favorite it,
Yeah,
it's your favorite icon.
It's definitely like favorite icon, and then fave but short. It's
I've heard it both
Right.
ways.
Yeah,
mm,
it's how I teach people about magazine, or when they say zine, I'm like, no, it's zine, like magazine, but without the front part.
The best thing you can do in life is just, if you ever get called out for mispronouncing something, just say you've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
And they can't question that. You can't argue with that. I used to try to convince people that quesadilla was pronounced quesadilla to be authentic. And I could trick people into doing that reliably, and it would always pay off. So,
Language is ever evolving, I like to say.
yeah, for the worse.
Oh no! Back to the good old days of language.
Yeah, let's bring back leet speak. Let's bring back for the win and bacon.
I mean, as far as sentences go, you can just make up the most random shit as long as it conveys the point,
Yeah.
Just like the tone right, and you can meaning just comes across in it,
It's all abstract anyway. I mean,
We did all make this language up,
yeah, it started with sticks and stones, and here we are with keyboards and mice.
and then we
I
fucking
guess you don't really do much typing with a mouse, but
We built that big old tower to the sky, and God was like, "No, thank you."
Really yeeted on it, no cap.
He did. That guy. Can't believe him. Just disrespect God. No mask on that guy, you know?
what's that PS1 game,
Or
Tale of
Mask
the
Off.
Sun, where you
Yeah.
build a tower to try and climb to the sky to climb to the sun?
Yeah, out of Mammoth
Good game.
Bones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, that's Tale of the
Back to
Sun.
that.
Tale of the Sun, actually, I think it's cool.
No, it absolutely is.
It's one of those.
It's an underappreciated.
Cass, can you answer this question? Are mystery dungeon games and roguelikes different genres?
Well, I can tell you that, the first Mystery Dungeon game was that spin-off of Dragon Quest, and then I know the guy who made Hide Lied went on to direct one of those games.
Oh, I lied. Let's
Yeah,
tell me
that's a
about
whole thing.
virtual
Check
highlight.
Check out the badgamehalloffame.com for
Yeah, I was-
Hide Lied. Anyway,
I was-
Mystery
I was-
Dungeon, I would say that's in the roguelike genre. I'd say those games
Okay.
came from a place of inspiration, the same way that... Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, because I was
Sorry,
thinking.
is
Yeah,
this
no,
Mystery Dungeon as in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon?
Yes.
Is that
Before there was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, though, it was a franchise that had run. It had begun with Dragon
Oh, I
Quest,
don't-
one of the shopkeeper characters, had his own
Yeah, I don't
SNES
care about
spin-off
those. I'm
game.
just
and
kidding.
that-
yeah, and then there's like Sheeran the Wanderer is a famous mystery dungeon franchise.
Mhm.
Chocobo's Dungeon
We should
2
start
is a
calling
mystery.
Rogue a mystery dungeon, like.
That's what I
Just
was
really
wondering.
cool scripts.
Yeah, like because I was thinking, I was like, wait, because I was talking about Chocobo's Dungeon 2.
There
I'm
you
like,
go.
I'm like, that's just a roguelite. Or is it a mystery dungeon game? But that I never interrogated whether there was rules to is there a Berlin interpretation of mystery dungeon games?
We were talking about roguelikes earlier and how they're a plague upon our great nation. And, it really goes back. They've been around longer than we care to admit.
Yeah.
And they will be here forever until the
Like,
deep depth of the universe. We'll still be making roguelikes.
I think I was on Steam. I was playing this game. I think Epic put it out. It's this cool roguelike called Rogue.
I never heard of it.
It seemed like it was trying to be cute because they were also like, I think it was going for like that retro vibe because it was all like ASCII art and everything.
Ooh, trying too hard.
Yeah.
It's like those indie games that go 8 bits.
Right.
I mean, come on, get some graphics, indies.
Seriously, there's so many more bits now. You say that to someone whose like current project is recreating like the fake. I tried to make the Garth Marenghi game that never existed for the ZX Spectrum.
Oh god, would it be a text adventure? It would have to be. Or no, what was the school days one that was graphic adventure? You can go
No.
anywhere with ZX Spectrum is a limitless console.
Yeah, it's a. You say wait, no, you say ZX.
I know it's ZX. I think I
That's-
gotta please the Brits or whatever.
That's well in my mind because it occupies the same space as La Dolce Vita, where calling it ZX like signifies its foreignness and respects the
ZX Spectrum.
yes.
All those Z heads.
All the where are all my Z heads at? Tell me about fucking Lemmings on the ZX.
How it's the best version of it because it's on
Yeah.
the ZX Spectrum. Therefore, it's objectively superior. All my
Tell-
Z heads out there, poke one out.
Shout out to my crack crews. Can we when we pirate games? Can we bring back the crack screens? I love
We need the
those.
greetings and we need the
Yeah.
fuckings. You need
Oh,
to
my
have the
God.
dedication in both categories.
I'm really surprised that another like modern game has used like those wares like pop-ups in any sort of creative way. Like we've seen so many like genre screws and fuck arounds with formats. Like I'm really surprised that no one's brought back those jaunty little tunes and the
Well, they have the key gens. If you have a game that necessitates a CD key, the key gens still typically have those. That's where all the Cracktro people moved their Cracktro art
Yeah.
onto. So it lives on, and there's still like people who are in those scenes who are still like hacking old computers and putting out demo scene stuff. So it's just not as prominent as it once was when we were all pirating games and every one of them had a key gen packed into it or had a patch at the top of it.
I want.
yeah.
I want to load up the new Call of Duty and have like a real high-res eagle with a floppy disk in his mouth show up. I want to hear.
Bringing you the latest and greatest games.
Yes.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, brought to you by the epic 1911 crew.
Oh my god! Listen, if I ever, I don't know where to begin to commission someone to like make a centralized launcher for Indiepocalypse, though it desperately needs one. But like, what's a launcher? I need a launcher that launches multiple platforms, like across different, what's the word I'm looking for? Operating systems. Can you make a launcher that launches Unity games, Game Maker games, Game Boy games? Does that mean
Well,
that
you know what it needs to be? It needs to be teletext. You need to bring it back to real old school to browse the web on bulletin board systems and having like these ASCII art displays and so forth. Then
you say that
be cross compatible.
there have been multiple. What is that thing called? It was in England. Telenet? No, the thing where they type things into their TV and they got the weather.
Oh, I don't know the name of that service, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
CFAX.
Yeah, there's been versions.
It was CFAX.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There have been multiple Indiepocalypse
Predecessor to
games
TV.
based on CFAX and like inspired by CFAX.
Show me the CFAX.
Yeah, it's very cool. I like that weird thing. But anyway, my point is that if I find a way to also it not be prohibitively expensive to build such a launcher, I want to have like the intro. I'd have like crack screens and the shout outs.
You should talk to I'll track down who it was. I can't remember exactly. I think it was either the Haunted PS1 crew or the DreadX collection. But I remember someone talking about using a centralized launcher there for a bunch of different engines.
Yeah.
It's something we ran into with 10-minute games. We just had someone inquire about like possibilities for porting it.
Yeah.
And we had to compile a list of all the different engines we used, and I think it was 10. I think we used 10 different engines across 10 different games.
Yeah.
And it ranges from like Electron to RenPy to Unity, and it's an unholy list. Yeah, making that all work in a single launcher on like Windows, I think would be pretty much fine, but getting it across other platforms actually would be tough.
It's always like I think the sticking point is like ROMs. Like, how do you just like am I just getting like GB whatever that's called? And
yeah,
like,
no, I've seen there have been games that like like recent games that come out and release like a full proper like a Game Boy Advance game or whatever. Sorry, and they've bundled together the download with like an open source emulator. Like,
yeah.
Definitely happened.
Yeah.
I know there's an NES game that came out in the past few years.
Yeah, I remember that.
The 4-player one. I don't know what the name of it is offhand, but people will know what I'm talking about. People who are tuned in.
But
cool little thing.
Maybe I will find a way to do that, because I mean, it really should. I feel like that might help people like play it or something. I don't know.
I reckon like I don't think a lot of people use the Itch app, but it's actually pretty cool. Like you could download like for the longest time I had a few downloads on one of my online only games, and I could not figure out what was causing it. But apparently you can go into the Itch app and you can download like even those online only games, and it'll just throw all the source files on your computer and let you play it in like a little pop-up window. It's kind of convenient and cool if you like digging through source code like I do.
No, I would also vouch for that itch.io client. It's very handy. Definitely better than previous attempts. There was a site before itch.io had taken off, and someone will remember what this is. Like, it was like IndieDB or something like that. It had the same layout as ModDB or one of those other sites, and they had their own indie bundle and stuff, and you would launch the games through that launcher, but that thing was like, eventually they gave it the axe, and you can't access any of those games anymore.
Yeah.
But, I feel like Itch is probably past the point where they are in any sort of danger of shutting down. I think Itch is probably eternal at this point. They've got a good revenue model going for them. So
yeah, I'd be pretty goddamn hard. Down, that would do it.
And they don't have very much besides like keeping the lights on. They don't do much. They have like very slight editorial. So it's not like I can't imagine.
Yeah. I think there's like 5 people on staff, which isn't going to be cheap or anything, and setup costs aren't great either. But definitely they'd be breaking even. I hope, right?
Yeah.
Spencer, if you're out there, just hit me up. Let me know you guys are okay. I worry.
I imagine they're doing fine.
No, I'm sure.
There's so many, like all it takes is like occasionally one thing hits well enough,
Yeah. I mean, I know a few of my friends were like pretty small name until the Justice bundle, and then having something in there has shot them up to just like 2,000, 3,000 followers, which is kind of interesting. I'd love to know the numbers about like how many people stuck around on Edge after that thing was launched.
Right. Yeah.
Because
I
Retention and whatnot. Yeah.
yeah.
well
I
now
always
it's
want to
in.
know about business. I always want to know the details, the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sick
right. Like
fascination.
why would they just tell me? Why aren't you replying to my messages? I don't understand.
Everyone should just talk about how much money they're making all the time.
Well, yeah, you got to be open with those things. I could tell you I make a cool some bucks off of
Yes.
my online marketing. And if anyone's hiring, I work for money. How
That's
much? Well, you highball me and we'll find out.
that's that is like you have my negotiating strategy whenever I commission artists, where it's like, how that thing is like the Cowboys is like, what are your fees, what are your rates? I'm a cowboy except I'm dead on the ground, and your gun says your rates, and I'm saying I'll gladly take whatever you've got. And
It's a good model.
I've only been priced out once by someone who said $1,000. I was like, yikes! That's a spicy lot of money. Can't afford that comfortably.
Well, you asked, they answered.
Yeah, and I was like, respect your art. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think like definitely the number of hours me and Freya put into Winter was it added up pretty goddamn fast. Like
yeah,
it wasn't like a living wage. But I don't know, like I don't think either of us were doing it for that. I think it was just like it was just fun and also nice to be respected enough to be paid any sort of amount for
yeah.
what we were
That's.
doing,
I mean,
which is
when I commission games, I am very much like, yeah, I know I'm lowballing people so hard, so I'm like, just treat it like it's a. I'm like, pretend it's a little dare,
yeah, like the dirty little secret is like if you try and pay me like even a small amount, I will probably just be like, just let me work for free. Just
Yeah.
let me do this for you. Like I want to make this. It seems like a cool project. And if you show up and ask me to work for free, I will spit on you. It's the way you approach this stuff, Like,
Yeah.
It's truly
I feel like
masterful because that way you make no money.
exactly.
It's a win-win for me. I work, I don't have to get paid.
I think the difference there is that like the only people who actually bother like trying to commission work at this time are other creatives, like people who know what the process is like
Right.
and make cool stuff themselves. And like, yeah, like if I like you and I like your work, I'll probably be down to make something with you. Like I'm bored. I'm just making things for myself right now. Like, come on, like let me make something with you. I'm down with that. Um, if you seem more like capitalistic or like, hey, why don't you rent this for exposure, as it always goes, like
Oh yes.
that's different. But I don't know.
I certainly can't promise exposure.
I
That's
promise
like
you at least a view.
writing, writing something for fun is always going to sound more appealing than writing it for
Right.
unless we're
Yeah.
talking like 30,000 plays. Like, okay, maybe then I'll suck it up. But like, I don't know. Like, I'm in this for fun. Like, sure, I'd like to get a job in the industry someday. That could be cool. But like, I'm only here because I enjoy this, and I think I'm pretty alright at it. But yeah, like, I wouldn't stick around if I wasn't having fun.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's
I
the
think
key
anyone
thing.
really like it's such a it's an interesting industry full of interesting payment practices.
or lack thereof.
Of lack thereof. Like people wouldn't stick around if they didn't care about what they make.
Yeah.
With just how they get away with these interesting payment practices. But still, like when we're on this level, it's I don't know, it's cool. I'm happy.
The funniest time I ever got paid for doing the thing I do, which is mostly writing at this point, I used to have a Patreon tier that was, you pay me $50, I'll write an article about a game that you would be interested in having a game written about, and someone asked me to write about a game, and I handed in 25,000 words, for the
What?
site. If you see my site, that's somewhere in the middle, unfortunately. And they got back to me afterwards, and they're like, "What did you do?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I just got a little carried away." And they said like, I have to quadruple what I paid you. I'm like, "No, you don't. It's fine." And just they had to argue with me to pay me, which is to pay me more money because
That's
like
markers,
they told me like I used to work for like an actual journalism. I used to write for actual newspapers and stuff, and the fact that you put in this work is like making me sick.
Yeah. No. Listen, I look at page rates and I'm like, those are high, but I look at game journalist page rates and I'm like, I'm gonna highball these little suckers.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, they have it coming.
Yeah, well,
We all do.
Is there like a game freelancers need to make one of those like page? There's like a page rate survey I saw for like comic artists. Like, here's who pays well, here's who pays like shit. It's mostly everybody pays like shit.
Oh, I hear the gamer.net is really good payout rates. I feel like if you do a top 20 list for them, that's definitely fair wages. The $20 you get for it.
Yes.
However much. Didn't hear that from me.
one for each entry.
Absolutely. And all you got to do is write one paragraph and take a screenshot of a YouTube video for each entry, and there you go.
That is not worth the time off my life.
No, it's probably not.
Should I pivot into listicles?
I've thought about it before. That's an easy grift. It's so
Yeah.
easy. You can get away with so much with such little effort or care. So I've really seriously considered it, but
You know what is a truly easy grift, and that is charging people a submission fee.
oh, there you go. You pay us
Yeah,
for the
like-
privilege of having this hosted.
Like
That's
I
a hell of a model.
like I could like, let's say I up the acceptance rate to like $300 for a game, but I'm like, there's also a $30, $40, $50 submission fee. I'll make all that money back no time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how itch works. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I have said it before. I said it again. Indie lift. It's more like indie grift.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
That'll teach
Woo! But yeah, they're like $1,000 payout. Well, they're also fucking charging you like $40. So it's like, you do the math. It's a jam page. You can see how many people joined it. They're making lots more money back from that.
That's what we call a finder's fee.
Yeah. Yeah. Real like, hey, I want to have a full-time job off of an event I run twice a year. Like, you little. Figure out more complicated revenue models.
Ever more complicated.
I'm not paying $75 for a submission, then to pay $600 to be included in part of your digital festival. I'm looking at you, Mix. Or The Mix. Whatever it is. The views of this host don't reflect any of the views of the participants on the show necessarily, unless they also agree with those views.
Yeah, no, I'll back up whatever you're saying. I've got no idea what you're talking about, but yeah, I'll jump in.
100%.
No, I remember seeing like, a new digital event, and there was like $75 submission fee, $600 if you're accepted. I'm just like, what?
Hey, I'm the one who's hawking an NFT as a bit here, so I'm on board. Yeah, my investment.
Yeah. Who would have thought the guy who runs the zine about where he pays a lot of people and doesn't like people money distribute wealth? I'm the Robin Hood of video games, or at least the little John. Which one's the bear? Is that Little John?
Little Bill?
No, not Little Bill. That's not a thing. There's no
Little Bill's a cartoon show with the bear.
No, from Robin Hood.
I'm talking about something completely different. I'm talking about the kid Nick Jr. television show. Little Bill.
Yeah. No, this is the thing.
Yes.
Is that Bill Cosby?
Yes.
Yeah, that was created and acted by Bill Cosby. Cool reference.
Aged like a fine wine.
I'm sure he teaches a lot of important lessons on that show.
Yeah, the wrong ones.
Let's veer away from this.
Yeah. Let's.
Speaking of,
That's gonna be my BuzzFeed article I write. 20 twisted lessons that you didn't realize were in Little Bill.
Hey, and that's how you get back into the listicle game. That's how you put yourself apart from the rest of them.
Yeah.
Writing the articles that no one else has the balls to write.
I don't have time to find 20 gifts. Elliot, what were you saying?
What do you mean?
Sorry,
you
just
don't have any gifts?
I like to make my own gifts, but
I know you do.
That's my life, is using an old version of GoonCam to record footage of gameplay because I
Listen.
haven't found a better way.
anytime a gift cam works very good.
Yeah, I've tried it. I think it does like compression on its own that I don't care for. I want
Oh,
those
okay.
raw and compressed GIFs.
Oh, okay. I
But-
get it. I get them pretty high res, but I think there is probably a little. But Elliot, we keep interrupting you. Sorry.
Sorry, no, you're fine. Just like speaking of like pay rates and submission stuff
Yeah.
before, I looked kind of maybe 2019. I looked into like submitting short stories to places, and boy howdy, that is not a game you want to get into. But pay rates kind of ranged from like 0 to 10 cents a word. Like 10 cents was considered just like unbelievably high. Like you have lucked out if you ever find that. Usually it's like 2 cents a word.
Yeah.
And to get like 5 or 6 cents, you need to send your story and wait 6 months, maybe hear back, and while it's in review, you can't submit it anywhere else. It sucks. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just like make a twine game instead, please.
Make a PDF and upload that PDF to itch.
Yeah, honestly. I've sort of made some really cool friends in the tabletop scene. And I think it was Jay Dragon, the team at Puzzle Creek Games, who the Wonder Home. I don't know if you guys are familiar with.
It's
that,
fairly.
but
It's fairly new, right? It's just like it just came out.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be maybe writing something for that next month, which is cool. But I think the pay rate they paid their writers was like at least 50 cents a word. I think it got higher once the Kickstarter really kicked off. And that's kind of the case. Like the big name tabletop companies, they will pay you like cents for a word. And then these indie publishers who have, come from a disadvantaged background, who
Yeah.
are just kind of all wonderful, lovely people, they'll just be like, yeah, I'm making money here. Why wouldn't you? Like, here's fucking $1 a word. Why not? Like,
Right,
just go crazy with this.
You know the taste of no money.
Yeah.
It's still so fresh.
It's nice. It's nice being adjacent to that, and I'm hoping to dive into that world at some point soon, because it just seems so wonderful. At least on the creative side. I don't know about the players. I've played D&D like twice, and that's it. I've got no one to play weird little RPGs with. But
Right. I've heard.
the creators are cool. That's the important thing.
I forget the name of it, but apparently there was a very good like online group thing that people were talking about on this show, but I forget the name of it entirely. But it was like, no, it's actually a good way to find people online and not like full of weirdos like I would expect random pickup online games to be.
That's cool. All right, maybe I'll check it out.
But I couldn't tell you.
Assuming you can ever think of what it is called. Yes.
I don't. I think there's like a weapon in like axe or mace or broadsword or
That
something.
narrows it down exactly.
It's called broadsword.
I appreciate you
Yeah.
trying.
It's something maybe, I don't remember. Or it's like
So how about
something.
those video games?
Yeah, tell me about virtual highlight.
Well, I mean, now you've pulled my leg.
I was
gonna say that,
I was just talking about this last month with Kurt of Artcore Gaming 101. I think probably because I saw you posting about virtual highlight on Twitter, and I got him. I'm like, who else would ever know about virtual highlight and HG 101?
Yeah, I have the definitive article now, though. I've stolen the fucking crown from them. Just
You
like my
should.
Jeff Crimson article, just like my other manners of weird, obscure games.
Truly.
I was gonna say on the D&D note, though, that just to follow that up real quick, the need to find people who are tolerable and to find services like that, and this reminded me of trying to find like friends to play with in online games. Like in like the game chat or whatever,
Yeah.
you would just like go to the global chat and try to find people that were, human. Good luck with that. So,
I will say I'm playing on a like I'm always stuck in like the Pacific servers for these online games, which means the connection's terrible. But I'm always paired with Australians who are just kind of consistently well, slightly more consistently friendly and fun and approachable. And I actually made some pretty good friends just like playing Overwatch, and they live in my city and we hang out sometimes. It's like
Yeah.
actually turned out pretty okay.
Well, when you're playing on the Oceania server and there's like 6 people, you're bound to learn to know each other eventually.
Home. Little communities, cute little communities like that. I love to hear about them. How about New York? How about trying to make community in New York with some Brooklynites? How about trying to find some guy to go eat pizza with, huh? That's my my biting satire of the state I used to live in.
I've been in New York and ate pizza a couple times. I took it and I folded it up on the street. I put a lot of red pepper on it.
That's the way to do it.
And I ate it. And I was like, that's fine. Last time I went to a pizzeria, they were having a weird argument and the whole atmosphere was tense and the pizza was all right.
Yankees or Mets? That's the discussion.
And because I was out delivering physical copies of Indiepocalypse that you can get on Patreon.
Ooh.
At the $25 tier because I have to print them on demand and it's expensive.
Print them to count.
Also the people at Staples are like, this is cool, so they actually don't charge me for it. But if I get the wrong person, they don't know I'm cool. If they're not in on the wink wink, this guy doesn't get charged money, then it costs like $11. But I actually think if I print them at scale, it's actually like not that bad. But I haven't been doing that so far, so I'd have to print like, when am I going to go to an event again? I'm going to be like 20 issues deep or something.
There you go. Fill out a table with those.
I will. I'm going to go to artist alleys. I'm going to go to anime conventions.
You thought about like physically distributing the games? I know people have done like thumb drives for that.
Yeah. Well, my idea was to print them on postcards of the with the postcards of the cover, and then have a code on the back, like the itch code on the back.
That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, no, I could dig that.
Do what the old computer literacy magazines used to do and just write the entire game's code out. So you have to type it in on your own keyboard. You have to do it look at the paper and write it into program code, and you can execute a little game on your specky.
I have. You can do it with Pico 8.
Oh hell yeah! There you go.
I make little business cards of I'll make little business cards of Pico 8 games.
Write in machine code. Write in pure assembly too. Just really make them work for it.
Yeah, like, do you have your Commodore at home, right?
Or, they used to do on the British airwaves, they would play over the radio the sound of like cassette tape data, so you could record it and then onto like a cassette, and then you put that cassette into your computer of choice, and you could play back the program that way.
What a
The ways we found to distribute games back in the day.
I looked into this a few days ago, actually. Apparently the way the Pico 8 cartridges work, it's like a fantasy console where you can download like a PNG and then load it as a game. Apparently the way it works is, I think PNGs are read left to right in terms of bytes, and zip files are read right to left. So the computer just kind of sticks them together, and then if you try and open it as a PNG, it'll just like pop up in whatever app you have, and if you try and load it as a zip, it'll be like, oh yeah, this is a zip. We're reading it from the other side. So you could just kind of cram arbitrarily large files inside a zip file just using the terminal, and then load it up into the console. It's kind of cool, actually.
There's lots of neat PNG trickery. Like, I know Kingdom Hearts on PC uses PNGs as save files, where all the data is compressed. Yeah, the latest version has this. Yep, and I know back in the day, used to just on certain unsavory image boards, you would hide stuff inside of PNGs if you were a sneaky sort. So it's a good practice.
PNGs, what simple and clean file formats they are.
Mm.
Woo! Woo! Ho-ho! Folks.
Cylinders, baby.
Oh yeah, 3 hours in, we got nothing but the hottest bangers. Whew. Kingdom Hearts, the story, am I right?
Oh my god, they mixed Disney with Square.
What?
That'll take off.
But like, listen, if we can come back down to Serious Town for a moment, take that bus down there. It was really wild. Like, the world between Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, like, I'm sure Organization 13 is just like very like whatever anime bullshit or whatever. But the idea that it existed was fascinating to me as a teen. I was so excited and like, these guys in hoods, what are they? And then they probably
How do I join?
Right.
Where do I send my application?
Where do I get my Keyblade?
Right though?
Have you guys all seen that Keyblade video where they fight in the parking lot
Yes.
of that shopping mall that feels way too familiar?
It might as well be your parking lot in your town, in
every-
your friends from high school.
Every time I see that, I do think, did that happen at a mall near me? It just feels like it. Yeah, if you've never seen it, do yourself a favor this late Saturday night or Saturday morning. Go online, type in, I don't know, Kingdom Hearts, dual wields.
Kingdom Hearts Duel of the Fates.
I forget what it's called.
You could not do that. You could just go to bed. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Okay?
No, you need to go to sleep with...
You could sleep easy. You don't have to do this to yourself.
No, you need to go to sleep with dreams of umbrella Keyblades in your heart.
Keyblade videos all night, no sleep.
Exactly. No sleep till Keyblade. No sleep till Keyblade, folks. Let's go.
No sleep till Twilight Town, bro.
Yeah, no sleep till Twilight Town. That's my... Chino, have you been breaking into my secret MP3 files of Beastie Boys Cross Kingdom Hearts raps Do Not Steal?
No, stop. I'm rapidly clicking out of those windows right now.
No! You have to fight for your right.
Simple and clean Beastie Boys cover.
Yeah. Donald's Boutique. Thank you. I'll see myself out. Speaking of seeing myself out, we're getting close to 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to bed. I don't know about
Yeah, I'm not gonna go to bed. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'm gonna read comic books.
I guess I'm gonna write. I guess I should probably write for the upcoming issue of Indiepocalypse. I should write about my game of choice for that.
I'm so excited, but I love that game so much.
We can just say what it is. I'm sure. I gotta say it's The Quiet Man.
It's The Quiet Man. Oh,
an article about making the idea of making games deliberately inaccessible and what you can sort of draw out, what you can traffic in narratively through that in a way that The Quiet Man admittedly did not do with any tact or taste or modicum of actual progressiveness, but there's a kernel of an idea there.
Yeah. The Quiet Man is like, what if the bouncer was bad and beautiful? I don't know if the bouncer is good, but...
The game bouncer?
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's an amazing game. It's the best game ever made. You see those ragdoll physics?
I do like when you play multiplayer and there's the stage with the piano and you go up to the top and you kick people and they fall down all the stairs. That's fun.
Yeah.
One of the ladies is a panther.
That's true.
And sometimes when she's not a panther, she's in a towel. The two forms, the two genders.
Yeah, there you go.
Panther and towel.
Man, maybe I should write about the bouncer one day.
No escape, as they say.
No, never ends.
Man, listen. Okay, if I had that Volk no escape Cactuar jacket, I might actually wear that.
Oh, it's a fucking hell of a look. Yeah.
Yeah, I have like 5 or 6 jackets, but I could get another one. I already have a jean jacket, but I don't think it's black. No, it's not black, and it doesn't have a Cactuar that says no escape on it.
Then you don't even. What's even the point?
1 second, I need to go to Etsy real quick. Speaking of going to Etsy and looking up bouncer jackets and see if I can buy one of those irresponsibly. We're going to wrap up, everyone. I'm glad to have everyone here. But before we leave, we need to do the thing we do on a podcast, which is talk about mattresses and CBD oil. So Every night before I go on my mattress, I like to just like swim in CBD, and it makes all my stress go away. And then my mattress like firms up to my body, and then
This water bed. It's a water bed, but instead of water, CPD would.
oh my
Best of both
god!
worlds.
Thank you, Cassidy. I would like to invest. I am. How do I? How I want. I'll give you $5 for 95% stake in this new venture.
I regret to inform you that having taken your money now, that the venture is closing down.
Ah, shit! You didn't even do your IPO.
Tough economy.
This mug belongs to a kick-ass bodyguard. I type bouncer, and there's a Father's Day mug that says, "This mug belongs to a kick-ass bodyguard." Thanks, Dad, my bodyguard. Be one of those dads who points guns at their prom date. Anyway. Elliot, what have you got to plug?
Yeah, no. Hello.
Hello.
I'm a little sleepy, but I'm here. I'm awake. Hello.
What have you got to plug?
Am I plugging a project?
Whatever you want. Something of yours, general concepts, anything. It's your space.
I don't know. Go make like a twine game. Go make like a game out of anchors. That's my suggestion to you. Go be creative. That's all I got. I'm having fun with it. You should try it out too if you haven't already. Just like throw together like the smallest project you can imagine. I've seen some very cool twine games that are like 60 seconds long. Just like throw it on an itch. Just figure out how to do it because it's a fucking rush. I don't know. Send it to me if you do. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, and if you happen to make your way to elliottharriman.itch.io, hey, enjoy that as well.
Yeah, there are technically games on there. I need to upload some of these other things I've done because this is. All right, that's my piece.
Perfect. Gino, what have you got to plug?
I don't really do anything plug worthy these days. So I guess if I'm ever walking down the street and you see me, hand me $5.
Nice, perfect. That is it. How will people identify you? Are you a nervous bee with a cigarette?
When am I not?
Okay, so if you see a nervous looking bee with a cigarette, just give him $5.
Even if it's not Gino, that bee's probably having a tough day.
Yeah.
Please, I need something to bring back to the hive. And I'm almost out of cigarettes.
Oh no, you shouldn't bring cigarettes. I'm pretty sure you shouldn't smoke in a beehive.
It's fine. Honey's notoriously not flammable. Don't worry about it.
Wait, what's that guy's name for the bouncer?
You don't have a cigarette?
Damn.
The guy with the the guy with the horns.
Bouncer man.
Bouncer man. No, it's not Bouncer man.
I've had to Google like 12 things just to keep up with this conversation. Is this the movie, The Bouncer, or?
No, this is the PS2 like launch game by Square Enix.
Right?
I'm too young for this, y'all. I'm. Oh my god.
Listen,
This looks retro. Yeah, this looks right.
It's Volt. It's Volt Kruger. That's how I was getting Volk. I was getting Volk from Volt Kruger. Okay.
I prefer Volkan, the wrestler. Thank you very much.
Okay. Speaking of things that you like, Cassidy, what have you got to plug?
Just Google search Cassidy. I'm the only one.
You got great SEO.
Yeah, no, I've really topped the results. I do a little badgamehallofame.com where I review all the games that are fit to be called bad. I'm doing that Indiepocalypse article for you every month for the foreseeable months.
Yeah, for like until one of us just stops.
Until common sense prevails in one of them.
Oh, listen, common sense will never prevail in Indiepocalypse.
There we go. Then it'll go on forever then. But yeah, I'm writing these monthlies right now about how I'm relating the experiences learned from bad games to lessons, learnable, teachable moments that aspiring indie developers might be able to glean something from. And so I feel like that's a fun little beat to cover for the time being.
Yeah, I mean,
stuff up.
Yeah, like your first three were like a perfect punch trio of a first trio of the punch, if you will.
Man, I sure that trio of the punch.
Of games of E.T., Takeshi's Castle, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Takeshi's Castle is a separate game. There's Takeshi's Challenge, and there's another.
Oh, right.
Another Kano game on the Famicom.
Yes.
It's more based on the game. I have not.
Right. I always forget Takeshi's Castle is like the extreme elimination thing.
MXD, yeah.
Yeah, but Takeshi's Challenge is the video game. The bad one with the salary man that you sing karaoke to.
Great one, I'll have you.
Yes.
So look forward to that stuff. Look forward to me taking stands for more historically bad games.
Yeah, and go to. Listen, I want to buy this No Escape jacket and then put a Bubsy enamel pin. I recently saw online a Bubsy enamel pin. I was like vintage Bubsy. I was like, oh my god, beauty, true beauty. I need to get my hands on it, but I never will. Anyway, I'll have to say, buy Indiepocalypse. It's a good thing. I like it.
I would tend to agree.
I recommend it. There's games in there. People get paid. I get paid. Everybody gets paid. I'd like to do it full time, which means you need to give me a lot more money.
You heard them, folks. Open up those wallets. Open up those purses.
Yeah. Take that money. Are you still? Hey, everyone out there in video game land, let's be real. Are you still spending money on Genshin Impact? Stop it. Spend that money on Indiepocalypse. We get it. Anime Breath of the Wild, we're done with that. It's over. It's old news. You know, it's never old news. Indie
video
games.
Games are done. Now it's zines dedicated to video games.
Exactly. Yeah, I still think some people don't realize that there are games involved in it. That's why I try to call it a bundle also zine, but anyway, buy it. Go to indiepocalypse.com/Patreon. Anything you pay towards Indiepocalypse will go to the sales, even if you aren't technically when the purchase and issue tier. If you have Twitch Prime, just give me $3. Subscribe to this channel. I'll look at that $3 and go, I'll never cash that out because I'll never reach that $100 payout threshold or something. As someone who hosts,
I had no idea.
I forget what the threshold is. Yeah, it's something I was like, oh, that's higher than I will have. For someone who hosts a show once a week. Indiepocalypse.com/podcast. I think if you want to go to the archives to listen to this after the fact without all the music cut out, but if you're here for the good stuff, you want to. For instance, if I didn't come in hot this session, you wanted me to tell you that that song beforehand was Revolutionary Girl Oceana with The Mountain Goes Love, 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 which is like stuff just made for me. But anyway, sometimes people make stuff for me, and I'm glad that they make them for me, and just me, apparently. But
only you.
Someone made an AMV of like that. There was a Mountain Goats Khaki King album that is like.
Have you ever seen the Pelswick Corn AMV?
No.
Pelswick.
I'll send you that after.
What is Pelswick? What is Pelswick?
It's a kid's cartoon about the titular Pelswick, who is a man in a wheelchair or a boy in a wheelchair in school. And that's as far as like the premise. So
listen, AFVs are a beautiful thing that like make anime seem cooler than some of them are. They let you build your own stories, and it's a great way to get into cool stuff. Anyway, fan cams are dead. AMVs are alive. Long live the AMV. Oh, okay. Yes, I do know this. I'm looking at the Discord. I am aware. I do know Pelswick. I don't remember anything about it, but this.
For all of you listening at home, do yourself a favor. Go to YouTube, search Pelswick AMV. The top result will be Get Up Pelswick. You're welcome.
I think I have all my things to plug. If you have games, go to indiepocalypse.com/submit. Join if you have a PlayStation 2, join the Big Old Corpse Project. Go to pizzapranks.com/RPGmaker or indiepocalypse.com/RPGmaker. No game dev experience required. Designers wanted, says the cover of RPG Maker 2 for the PlayStation 2. I bought a memory card and the copy of that game, a second copy that is. I already have one. But to ship out to the people when we can get it started, I'm going to get like 6 people before I get started. But that's mine. If I don't have a new project, now that like I have everything like now that my secret project is so well underway and almost done, I need a new project or else I get anxious because I look at numbers and go, no one's buying this thing. Nobody cares. But if I start something new, I forget about it.
Always be
I mean,
working.
that's how game dev is, right? It's just
Yeah.
like you just gotta treat it like a hobby, and if you get a job out of it, that's fucking incredible. But sometimes you break even, and sometimes you do not. And I don't know. I mean, you could go to the casino. That's probably
Yes. I have
something
alternate revenue sources as well. With
No, I don't know. Like people dump a lot of money into
Yeah.
weird hobbies. I feel like game dev's actually pretty alright as far as that goes.
Yeah, Indiepocalypse is basically, I've said this before, it's basically where my money used to be going to student loans and car loans. Once I paid all those off, I'm like, well, I'll just fund Indiepocalypse, I guess.
Hell yeah.
With that said, goodbye, everyone. We're leaving.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Deuces.
Lovely being here. Y'all go get some sleep.
Glad to have you.
No matter where you are, just go back to bed.
It's only
today
9.
isn't worth it.
It's only 9:30. I have so much left to do. Like transition to the ending.
About this.